Hola, amigos and amigas. Welcome to Gringos Are Us. Expats with a tan. Get it? This week, we're going to talk about getting mentally prepared for what it's like to live in Mexico. Coming up next. And welcome back. If you're just finding us, we welcome you to stay and join our little community of people who love Mexico both inside and outside the country. And if you're returning, welcome back. We're glad to see you again. And as always, please, if you get any entertainment, any knowledge, or anything out of this video, please make sure to give us the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and as always, ring the bell so that you'll be notified of all new content when it drops. So, you notice I changed the beginning. And the reason I did was because we have so many people now who are subscribers and watch our videos who are not gringos. So it sort of was like, okay, hold on, we're calling everybody a gringo, and they're not. So, in honor of making sure that we're friends with everybody on here, which we want to be, change it to amigos and amigas. So, gracias para tu tiempo. As you can see, I'm flying solo again. Gina's downstairs toiling away, affording us the ability to live here in Mexico. So, you're stuck with me again on this particular episode. Plus, we were editing, she was editing the video for the wrap-up of Querétaro, and we found out that our last little bit where we started wrapping up on giving everybody the numbers disappeared. Couldn't be found. So we got to go back and re-record that part. So to give you guys a midweek, I'm at it again. So let's talk about what it's like mentally preparing and living in Mexico. If I go back and look during when the pandemic first started, was I looking towards Mexico? Yeah, I was trying to figure out when we were going to be able to get back to the resort so I could go to the swim-up bar, get my vodka, hold court, play volleyball, do all the fun things. And when we finally did get back down there, we went in 2021, and that was a trip that changed our whole mindset, and that was suddenly looking at Mexico more from a perspective of, do I want to go down there and hang out in the resort, or could we actually live here? And of course, Gina, being Gina, was always 2 steps ahead of me and was already looking at the possibility of doing that. With that being said, we talked numerous times in other videos about our trip, the day trip with Miguel, and he showed us a side of Mexico we never saw before, and it really opened our eyes and made us really want to move here because of the warmth of the people and everything else. And mentally, the part that I want to talk about this week, the excitement, the stress, and everything else of making that big life-altering move, because it's a life-altering move. You're moving from the United States or from whatever country you're living in to Mexico, and we didn't speak the language. So, but we're so wrapped up in everything that we were doing in preparation to get there, I don't know if we really took the time to understand what we were going to be dealing with once we got on this side of the border full time. Don't let that scare you. The good part about it is that what we've found is it's even better than what we thought. Are there some pitfalls? Yes. Let's start with the negatives. And there's not many of them, really. The number one thing that we've encountered, or at least I've encountered, I have to say this is all coming from my perspective because I didn't even discuss this with Gina as far as what I was going to talk about, is the fact that you are going to feel isolated. Now, that may not be as much of an isolation if you speak the language. That's bravo if you do, because it will make your life a lot simpler. But we don't. I do un poquito, but there is a long way to go. And because of that, you do feel a sense of isolation that you sort of have to just let it go. You flow with it and you enjoy. The other part of it really is that you have to have a relationship that is built on granite. Fortunately, I have a rock, and you have to have that relationship because you're going to be as dependent upon each other as you've ever been at any time in your life. And it really is sort of mind blowing. And would this be possible if I was doing this with anybody else? No, not for me. She puts up with me being, as you guys all know, I'm the smart ass on here, but she always is putting up with that, and we have a full appreciation of one another. You're both going to have to chip in and help. Your daily routines are going to be different, especially since we got down here and I'm no longer working. The routines really got thrown up in the air. She is, I'm not, and so you really have to make sure that you pitch in and work as a team and do it. Would I do this with anybody else? I can tell you folks, no way. That the only way that I could ever enjoy this is with that woman down there. So make sure that you are 100% of the same mindset. You have to have that adventurous mindset. If you don't have the adventurous mindset, you're not going to get the enjoyment out of it. We're really a couple of homebodies. We've gotten here to San Miguel. We've sort of fallen into this little routine where she works, I do stuff on the computer, answer your comments, do a few other things, read my books on my Kindle, watch my hurricanes, watch my Tar Heels, which that's not going real well this year. But, and then while I'm watching all that, she's trying to put together the videos. But you have to find a way of making it work where it works for both of you. And there are times, and I'm going to tell you right now, the most stressful times that we have had since we have gotten in the country have been driving. You're faced with the fact that you're reading signs that you don't quite understand. You're in a city that you probably have never been in. You're trying to navigate, and then you have to deal with the Mexican style of driving, which is, I have noticed, and I'm going to do a video on this as well, it's different. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's just different. And it's different from the carretera to the toll roads to Querétaro to here in San Miguel. It's been different just about everywhere we've driven. So it's a constant, what's the word? It's a constant stressor. So with that being said, I think the best thing that you can do is when you get in the car and you start to go someplace, especially if it's someplace new, look at each other and just sort of go, you know what? We're going to get there. We just have to have patience with one another. One's navigating, one's driving. They're both doing it for the first time. So cut everybody a little slack and let them go. Speaking of stress, since we got down here, I can tell you that the number of times that I've turned the news on has reduced to almost nothing. I I do open the computer every day, take a peek at what's happening back home in the States, and quite frequently, it's really rather depressing. The number of shootings and everything else, and all of the things that are going bad have really made, I can speak for Gina on this, both of us appreciate the fact that we're down here and able to really let go of all that stress. I know that I have. I don't get wound up. I don't do all that. Does it bother me? Yes. Does it get me wound to the point where it's like no, it really doesn't. So the biggest thing is you have to come down with an open mind, because the people that you're going to encounter down here are some of the friendliest, nicest, warmest people. We have made friends that will last us a lifetime down here, and we've only been here 3 months. So what you have to do is you come down with the open mind. You dump all the stress as soon as you leave the border. You have the stress of the drive because you've never done it before, but once that's gone, you get to your wherever it is you're going, you settle in, and life is good. And that's really what there is to all of this. You have the stress on the front side of trying to make sure that you get your appointment, get all your documents in a row. You get your visa. You do the border crossing, stress there. You drive down, stress there. Once you arrive where you're going, whether it be by plane or whether it be by drive, folks, it doesn't get any better than this. It really doesn't. So go into it with the right mindset, be open, be prepared to change, because that's the biggest thing. And for some of us, that's not easy. Trust me, if Gina was sitting here, she'd be going, he doesn't do change very well. But it has. It's changed me down here just being here. So go into it with the right mindset, and you will enjoy your time down here like no other. Short and sweet this week. Hope everybody has had a great time watching this video. We welcome you and want you to make sure that you please give us the likes, give us the thumbs up, give us those subscriptions. You guys have been phenomenal on the subscriptions. We are almost at 1,000. We're almost to 1,000, folks. When we first started this channel, we thought it would take us probably the better part of 18 months to 2 years before we reached 1,000. We haven't even hit the first anniversary of our first video drop, and we're just a mere 20-something away from hitting that magic 1,000 number. And that's all due to you, and we appreciate it. And a big thumbs up and shout out to all of you for doing that. Thank you guys for making this channel what it is. It's been a lot of fun. We really enjoy doing it. I know it's a lot of work for Gina, but she keeps toiling away at it and producing those great content. So with that being said, remember, we are Gringos R Us, expats with a plan, and some with a tan. And remember, we are doing it, you can too. Adios.